her arm, spinning around him, smooth as summer silk. By the time he got himself turned, she was sprinting down the alley, swift as a deer. The scepter was screeching at her. Arya slid between legs as thick and white as marble columns, bounded to her feet, bowled into Prince Tommen, and hopped over him when he sat down hard and said, "Oof," spun away from the second guard, and then she was past them all, running full out. She heard shouts and pounding footsteps closing behind her. She dropped and rolled. The red cloak went careening past her, stumbling. Arya sprang back to her feet. She saw a window above her, high and narrow, scarcely more than an arrow slit. Arya leapt, caught the sill, pulled herself up. She held her breath as she wriggled through, slippery as an eel. Dropping to the floor in front of a startled scrub woman, she hopped up, brushed the rushes off her clothes, and was off again, out of the door and along a long hall, down a stair, across a hidden courtyard, around a corner and over a wall, and through a long, narrow window into a pitch-dark cellar. The sounds grew more and more distant behind her. Arya was out of breath and quite thoroughly lost. She was in for it now if they had recognized her, but she didn't think they had. She moved too fast, swift as a deer. She hunkered down in the dark against a damp stone wall and listened for the pursuit. But the only sound was the beating of her own heart and a distant drip of water. Quiet as a shadow, she told herself. She wondered where she was. When they had first come to King's Landing, she used to have bad dreams about getting lost in the castle. Father said the Red Keep was smaller than Winterfell, but in her dreams it had been immense, an endless stone maze with walls that seemed to shift and change behind her. She would find herself wandering down gloomy halls. The shapes around her took on form. Huge, empty eyes stared at her, hungrily. And dimly, she saw the jagged shadows of long teeth. She had lost the count. She closed her eyes and glimmered and sent a fear away. When she looked again, the monsters were there. She pretended that Syria was beside her in the dark, whispering in her ear, still water, she told herself, strong as a bear, fierce as a wolverine. She opened her eyes again. The monsters were still there,
松本重雄
but
商
the
店
fear was gone. Arya got to her feet, moving warily. The heads were all around her. She touched one, curious, wondering if it was real. Her fingertips brushed a massive jaw. It felt real enough. The bone was smooth beneath her hand, cold and hard to the touch. She ran her fingers along a tooth, black and sharp. It's dead, she said aloud. It's just a skull. It can't hurt me. Yet somehow, the monster seemed to know she was there. She could feel its empty eyes watching her through the gloom, and there was something in that dim, cavernous room that did not love her. She edged away from the skull and backed into a second, large